Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Music Night of Impakt Festival 2013. I welcome you all not only to a music night that will tell you all about capitalism. This will be a DJ battle, and not one with a competition or an outcome or first prize. We will sit and watch and learn and dance a bit on the side. I've invited a few interesting, remarkable guests from very different angles. We have Jonas Olsen, audiovisual artist from Sweden. We have Marek Korczynski from the UK, who just gave a very interesting lecture about labor and music. And on the other side we find Michael Lampe from Aruba and the Netherlands, DJ and producer fellow. These three guys have very different viewpoints on what capitalism and music means to each other. They will tell you all about it, and they will interrupt each other. There will be violent interruptions, I hope. They will play some music fragments. All the while we have Max Mana for the visuals in the back. He's quite invisible to you guys, but you can thank the visual back. And during this whole event, which will lead up to the club night that we can expect from 11:30 onwards with Laserpoodle and Fellow for real club night sets, all the while we'll have the New Tropics bar in your back, who proclaim that you should drink to think and think to drink. It's a very irresponsible way of promoting alcohol. You should get a shot there. It's only €2 or 3 shots for 5. They offer vodka with vitamin C to get started, with Red Bull to get dancing, and with omega-3, and this is loosely based on pseudo-scientific research, with omega-3 to remember the nights. Yay! And there's beers in the back. I'd like to give the words, the DJs will introduce themselves. If you have any questions, or if you get really angry with what they are saying or propagating, you can interrupt through this microphone, ask them questions, get into it, maybe sing along, whichever. I wish you a very nice evening. Enjoy.
Check. Yes, check.
Well, you start.
Okay, I have to start then.
Yeah.
Hello, good evening. My name is Michael, also known as Fellow. I come from Aruba. I live in Amsterdam at the moment, or somewhere between Aruba and Amsterdam. And I'm a music producer and DJ. And I'm very happy to be here tonight to explore this evening together with some great, also I think really nice people that can will talk a bit about music and capitalism tonight. Let's see how the night goes. I'll pass the word on.
Thanks. My name's Marek. I'm not a DJ. In no way could I be construed as a DJ. What am I doing here? I've got no idea. I'm a university professor from Britain. It's true. It's a true fact. I've just given a lecture and a bit of singing on the history of music and work, which was nice. And they said, stay on and do this. So I've got no idea. I'll do it.
Yes. Okay, give it up for Mark. and yes, it is. I did this last year, this DJ battle, and I think it's a fantastic format because as a music lover and as a DJ, you often stand there and you play a lot of songs and you actually have a lot of knowledge of what the music means and where it came from and the context, but you never talk about it except with your dear friends. So I had the feeling when I did this last year that wow, this is an amazing gap that could be filled, like, because you could talk about it, you can play a song, you can illustrate it with music, or the other way around, you can illustrate it with talking. But I would say that this is such a big topic, like capitalism and music. I talked to someone at the bar and say, yeah, but it's fine. You can, if you say Anouk, that's also capitalism music, or you can play Siv's folk music. Everything is capitalism music. So it is a wide one, I have found a little way in, but I'm curious to see how you're going to deal with this. Michael, back to you.
I guess we started the battle right now.
The battle of passing it on.
Yeah, I know, right? It's the battle of who's talking, who's going to be on the word. Well, I mean, for me, I was thinking about this a lot when I got an email as well. And the one thing that after thinking about it, I mean, it's something that you think about a lot anyhow when you're making music and stuff like that, because you're talking about, in a certain way, also about commercial music and underground, but also, capitalism, of course, which is a bit different, of course, about music being commercial. And I wanted to actually, kind of talk a little bit about where I come from and how the music kind of influenced what I do, and also the way music kind of integrated itself in a way, because I come from Aruba, I have a Dutch passport, I live in Holland, and you're kind of from the Caribbean, but you have a Dutch identity at the same time. And I was looking at this kind of culture, and one of the music forms that really is in a way very interesting and really appealing to me is what we have, the bobbling music. And bobbling really started in Rotterdam, let's say Den Haag, and it started by DJ Moortje, who comes from Curaçao, and he lives in Netherlands, and around late 80s, starting of 90s, he started speeding up this Jamaican music form. And I'm talking about this because it's a form that developed itself into what we have today in America, that is the Dutch sound, and really a huge part of it. And I want to play you a little part of DJ Moortje, and to start the battle, I guess, tonight in this form, with the bubbling music. And this is how it kind of started, and you might recognize the rhythm, but during the battle, depending on how the flow goes tonight, I'll play you some more recent form as well, or how it kind of developed itself into a more Dutch context at the moment. And this is...
Yes, I want to say something in addition to this, because I don't know if I'm a huge mega fan of DJ Fellow and what he has been doing for music, and I think to put this a little bit in perspective, I think I've been living in the Belmar now for more than 10 years, and I've been doing a lot of projects with the hip hoppers there, and I always told them, you have to create your own music, you have to use your own your history, and now what's happening, bubbling was maybe the first time together with Gabber, maybe, that the Holland created something that was totally their own thing. England has always been very good at milking. I mean, I come from Sweden, so I don't know anything about this, because we never managed to get any colonies, so we are virgins in this land. But what England was always good in was milking the link with Jamaica, with ska music, with reggae, with dancehall, and now maybe for the first time, I mean, he is a purveyor of Mumbaton and other style. There seems to be a merging of the Caribbean scene together with the dirty Dutch house, and maybe Holland has finally found a way to make something bigger out of that, which already happened in England, in America a long time ago. So I think this is my point of view. But okay, I'm gonna shut up, and let's not get into too close to. Don't be afraid of us talking club music all the time, because that's the part of it that that it's going to be schizophrenic.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, come on, I know nothing about club music, so that's good. So you're talking about. So I'll start on a downer. Let's start on a downer and lead it up at the end of the evening. So in terms of the relationship between music and capitalism, small remit, as you say. One of the most pernicious extra levels of commodification of music in capitalism over the last 2 decades, I would say, is the use of music, popular music, as a soundtrack for adverts. I find this deeply pernicious. The songs that you fell in love with, that you made love to, that meant all these things, now sell cornflakes or whatever. So I'll just play one song and then I'll talk about it. This is from sung by Vera Hall in America, collected by the kind of folk song collector, you would say, Alan Lomax, in the 1940s. And this song she talks movingly about is about how the whites would disappear a troublemaker from the black community in the American South. I'll just play.
Another man done gone. Another man done gone from the county from another man done gone. I didn't know his name. 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 He had a long chain on. 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 He killed another man. He killed another man. He killed another man. He killed another man. I don't know where he's gone. 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 I'm gonna walk your love. I'm gonna walk your love. I'm gonna walk your love. I'm gonna walk your love.
The magnificent Vera Hall's voice was used as the backdrop for an Impulse Siren deodorant. Beautiful. So that's a downer to start with. Thanks to Impulse.
Well, what I want to say right away is interesting to see how actually it says something about how music captures a certain moment and a feeling about, and actually how it's kind of getting projected again back in this advert, let's say. It's very interesting how music is, actually representing a certain time in your life or even an expression, and how it gets to be, incorporated in an advert like this to actually move the people that know the song, or to capture them in a certain time to express this again.
But do you think there's music that is totally resistant to commercial abuse or commercial? Like, would there be like noise, jazz, or bebop, or like something that could never be commercialized? Or
you would have thought that's almost impossible to commercialize.
No, but no, I don't think so, because it's very emotional, and people love emotions.
Yeah, whenever there's emotion, there's always going to be space for music to be commercialized, because it's actually what they're trying to do with the adverts is actually create a certain space for emotion that will then relate to the certain person or whatever the market that they're trying to get to. They're using a certain song to actually reach those persons. I mean, if you're trying to, reach a certain crowd that will like some 90s tracks, and it will evolve some emotions of looking back or whatever, or when they fell in love, they're going to probably use that, for a certain advert to recreate that feeling and actually, bind the people in using music. So in that sense, I think no music is safe.
No, okay. Then I'm going to play one thing, because this is what I was thinking about. This, like, shit, how I'm going to tackle this is such a weird thing, And then I was realizing, like, I'm very old, or you're maybe my age, but there's young people out here, and that's okay. It's okay to be young. I'm not angry at you. I'm jealous. But no, but I remember growing up in the 70s, 80s. I'm 46, so then you get it. Listening to punk and listening to ska, listening to all this music and I was also listening to industrial music and not the version that was bastardized by Ministry or the Krups, where they put sampled guitars into, but the real pure noise version. And then I thought, wow, this is really a music style that has not been commercialized, because everything else got commercialized really fast. Punk got commercialized almost as soon as it started, and electronic music And then I realized that the reason why certain things doesn't get commercialized as fast, and I would say I would differ now because I go to Berlin a lot, and now I would say I'll give you some example like Throbbing Gristle, Suicide, Coil. These are now, that's the hot shit in Berlin. So of course eventually it gets to a point where it makes sense. But they, at least I could say that they managed to stay out of commercials for much longer than The Clash managed to stay out of commercial. Wait, should I play some music? Yeah, maybe. Wait, no. Here, this is why noise hurts so much. Commercialize this, motherfucker. What, tampons? Like, what are you thinking? Like soft drinks, cars, holidays? Maybe hearing aid or something. There's probably something.
Something you could use for a war commercial.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, the one thing I want to say right away, it's like, but you know, the question is also, is it bad to be commercialized? You know, no. And I can understand where you're coming from, because you know I could see that everybody was already feeling like they're in the tropics under the sun having a nice cocktail. No, but it does get some reaction. You know, it does get some reaction out, and which is like, you know, stay away. You know, so in that sense, it kind of interacted themselves, and I saw everybody going through the air again. But yeah, but I mean, it's interesting to look at it from the point of view of what music is not. It's still virgin in the sense of being commercial. But then the question, of course, is coming forward to say, well, what is commercial, and of course the opposite, what is underground, you know, in that sense, or what is pure. For me, it's basically underground. It's kind of the purest form of an idea. So it's when the music starts and you're like with your guitar, or you know, with whatever you use to make music in your house, and it's kind of an expression, and in that sense, the expression becomes, when it's, you know, reachable. Nowadays through technology, for more people, and they can identify themselves with this pure idea or form of art, it becomes part of themselves, so it becomes in that sense commercial.
But I think that's a great interesting point, and I think, like, I just read an interview there was an English writer that said, like, Joy Division, now everyone likes to love Joy Division. No one liked Joy Division when they came out. Everyone hated Joy Division. So of course, if you really want to be the first, like, you need to have a sort of pain. You need to not be afraid of pain if you're going to learn. I mean, now it's easy to like Joy Division. Like, oh, that sounds good. When it came out, I was scared of Joy Division. So, I mean, you need to be a little bit of a sadomasochist to like Joy Division. Now people can't understand that it's hard to like Joy Division because it sounds so funky. But when it came out, we were scared death of Joy Division.
Well, I mean, it's also what they say. You got to be at the right time, you know, with stuff. So in that sense, I mean, Joy Division represents a certain, you know, painful part of oneself in that sense. Yeah. But I mean, it's very interesting that maybe at that time, not everybody felt, you know, that they were really connecting to this music. But there was a point, and if we want to say it's right now, people are really connecting to this music again. So in that sense, it's becoming really commercial. Not really a bad thing, because you actually want music to be, you know, expressed and to be shared with a lot of people. Yeah.
No, I think this is the best time I've ever lived in. I mean, now, because there's so much exciting things happening, and this whole thing, the vagary of what's underground and overground, it's totally a good idea. A good beat is enough. And
okay, man.
Yes. Yeah.
So enough about this putting down commercial and commodification. Sometimes the commodity, the shiny, plastic, artificial nature of pop music is the central element of its beauty. So, Lou Reed, cool as fuck, right? What was Lou Reed's favorite song of all time? One of the most shiny, artificial, plastic songs you'll ever hear. Created by a hierarchical, awful instrumental person. Phil Spector was the writer and the producer of this song. And it's sung by the Righteous Brothers. And one of the Righteous Brothers was really pissed off because the other guy gets to sing the first minute. And he says, "What do I do, Phil? What do I do for the first minute, man?" And Phil says, "You go to the bank to cash the checks, man." So, this is Lou Reed's favorite song of all time. Feel shiny, beautiful.
Your lips. There's no tenderness like grief in your fingertips. You're trying hard not to show it, but baby, I love it.
Cash the checks, man. Just a final coda to that. I'm old enough to have seen Joy Division. No fucker like them.
I can't say that. Michael, say something wise.
Why me?
No.
You want to say something wise?
Yeah, okay. I'm filled to the brim of wisdom and knowledge, so I should be able to squeeze something out. I'm going to play one song. We're going to do one video later, maybe after some time. I'm going to play this one. This is Culture Side. It's a communist band from Houston, Texas, and they were doing. This is not a question anymore, but when I was younger, copyright was a question. Like now, everything. Well, there might still be if Spotify gets some power back, because I mean it's true that the music industry lost a lot of power. That is true. I mean there was millions to be made in the music industry. Now it's only Michael making millions in the. No, I'm joking. But I'm going to play one song that was important for me. I found this record when I was living in America in 1988. And what they are doing is just screaming on top of songs. So they don't make music of their own. They just scream louder than the people who sing it. And then they do a Marxist theory twist. So this is a Live Aid. I don't know if you remember Bob Geldof. There used to be poor people in Africa. Now they're all having oil businesses and shit. But this is from the time when there was poor people there. And then there was a festival. And then this with.
comes a time when rock stars beg for cash, and that's how the world's supposed to come together as one. There are people dying, oh, and they just noticed, and they think they're the greatest gift of all. Well, we can't go on pretending day by day that record companies and media gods will soon make a change. We all play a part in a world that starts us all, and our cooperation is all they need. They're not the world. They're just us.
Well, a nice anecdote is that they are trying to mimic the voices of Cyndi Lauper and Bruce Springsteen a little bit. But okay, yeah.
And bureaucrats and rock and roll has-beens. There's a choice we're never given. We run our own lives. Without it, your better day is just a better life. Well, sign a record so they can pretend they care, and their careers will be stronger and guilt-free. As Michael might have shown us, the world's just TV. And if children are starving, let them drink Pepsi. Not the world,
Bruce.
the children. You want to change anything, something I'm not thinking.
Yes,
At least they can sing.
I think you. Yep. This is Cyndi Lauper.
Without it, your better days, just a better life.
Yes. Okay. Houston Communists. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so we're talking about resisting selling out. One of the great songs about selling out feature is by the Clash. And it's called Death or Glory, and I'm going to play it just for these two brilliant lines. I believe in this, and it's been tested by research. He who fucks the nun will later join the church.
Mike.
One check, mic check. Nice song. I'm gonna play something that for me is kind of going back in one of the pure form what I was talking about before. It's getting wild. It's getting wild in the public. It's getting wild. Out of control. Yeah. But yeah, one very interesting thing is like I heard this album some time ago that really inspired me, and it's one of the pure form of calypso music being played in the streets back in the I think it's kind of the late 60s if I'm not mistaken, and at that time it wasn't as big yet, and people didn't have a lot of money to buy all the instruments or to pay the musicians to play it, and they kind of improvise with them out, like the brass section and stuff like that. And I thought it would be really nice to play some of this, just a small part of it for you tonight.
It's like a poor version of the trumpet. They sing it themselves, or like
well, kind of.
If the radiator start to boil, don't stop. Let the water wash down the coil. Well, as a driver with
That was the trumpet part.
boys, I send this car for inspection. I give the mechanic man my instructions.
Oh, but this is like also one really you feel like the pure form of talking about music not being produced for it's really an expression in the streets, and people are really using the means that they have nowadays. If we talk about this in the sense of what we have, I studied music technology. And what we have for technology is incredible. So we can recreate a lot. We can produce stuff to the maximum using a lot of science. And this is like kind of the thing that when I listen back to it, it's really in the purest form without any technology. It's just pure music trying to recreate it in that sense. So it's in that sense like you coming from Sweden. It's virgin music.
Yeah, but how was that for you? I've been to Aruba just to as a point of this. I was there invited to. I also make drawings. I was invited to do. How was the influx of music because it's very small. I mean, most of you are Dutch, but I have some friends that are Berlin people. It's an island of 100,000, I think, and 50,000 are tourists or something like that, or.
Well, I'm not sure how much tourism at the moment, but that's the main source of, the economy is based on tourism in Aruba, and it's about 100,000 people living there.
And how did it work with the influx of music and ideas and new styles and all?
I mean, that's the one thing for me personally as a producer. I mean, when I started at home, we got quite a lot of different influences. My dad is a musician himself, and on the radio they play so many different stuff because I think for like just like the Caribbean, it's a big melting pot of different influences. So you get, a lot of different styles of music coming together, just like the culture, identity, music, food, art. It's very colorful. It's kind of where everything can, really come together and being celebrated, what they do in Carnival. We have a lot of this in Carnival. So in that sense, it was from a very young age, I was always interested in how music kind of developed itself into becoming something that has its own identity, because of course I was also thinking about this a lot, coming from Aruba as in that sense my skin color, but still having this Caribbean culture behind it, but not fully because I'm also Dutch, and so it's kind of a mix. And through music you can really see this again. This is why I come back to the bubbling part, because it has that kind of Caribbean influence, but still also being born in a Dutch context. So it's been a really kind of a schizophrenic move to see how all these influences come together. But as a producer, I think it also kind of formed me into looking, at elements that I think, if I put this all together, I can make one big soup out of it, a musical soup.
I think this. I mean, I've been. It's nice to hear, and I've been living my whole life between these worlds, art and music. And I think there's one thing that I really like about music. It's the music found a way to democratize itself. Like a Michael Jackson CD cost itself the same as a golden earrings CD. So there's a leveling of this is the price. If you have a painting by Picasso, it's going to be very expensive. I have friends in my hometown. I come from Örebro. They're Millencolin. It's a skate punk band. They're not millionaires, but they're rich enough to buy nice villas, and that because there's 100,000 people in the world willing to pay 20 euros to listen to their CDs, which is of course a total different version in the art, where you have one billionaire from Russia willing to pay 1 million for your painting. It's not that simple, or maybe it is that simple, but there is something very democratic in how people get rich through music. And now it's all different because we don't sell CDs
I think
anymore,
the internet is one big part of it, you know?
Yeah.
It changed a lot of how the music industry kind of, works, because it used to be that you had this kind of industry that was really in power, and that had shifted during the last years with the internet coming in, and actually making it possible that you can, put your music available for everybody to download for free on top of it. So it kind of shifted this whole idea of, there's one a power having control over what's coming out, whether it's reaching the crowd or not.
Yeah, further to which, the breakthrough moment where that became apparent in the British mainstream was when a Sheffield band called the Arctic Monkeys, who just had their own little fan base and shared stuff, and just through that, without the use of a big label and their marketing, I Bet You Look Good on the Dance Floor went straight into #1.
KLF.
Eyes at you. What it is that surprises me is that I don't really want you to. When your shoulders are frozen, oh, but you're an explosion. Your name isn't real, but I don't care for sound and light in the fuse. My results in a bang, bango. I bet that you look good on the dance floor. I don't know if you're looking for romance, or I don't know what you're looking for. I said I bet that you look good on the dance floor. To electro pop like a robot from 1984. Well, from 1984. I wish you'd stop ignoring me, because it's sending me to despair. Without sound, yeah, you're calling me, and I don't think it's very fair that your shoulders are frozen. Oh, but you're an explosion. Your name isn't real, but I don't care. Sound the lights in the fuse, my results in a bang, bango. I bet that you look good on the dance floor. I don't know if you're looking for romance, or I don't know what you're looking for. I said I bet that you look good on the dance floor. I doubt it's electro pop like a robot from 1984. Well, from 1984, hell, there ain't no love.
Wow. Yes. Okay, sometimes when you do these talks, you don't know, I mean, everyone knows this or everyone don't know it, so you feel like, but when I think capitalism and music, I could not withhold the KLF. This was the Two Unlimited of Britain. They were making huge hits. They had the burning of £1 million, which is a lot of money. We didn't get the video, because they also explained this on the BBC. First they said, we're not going to talk about this for 23 years. 23 years being an occult number that I myself use for my internet. But they were extremely successful. They were making £6.8 million for the videos. What Time Is Love, all these, they were huge in the early 90s, late 80s. And they said, okay, we're going to burn £1 million, and they did it. And the interview is quite nice because it's on BBC, where they try to like, why did you do this? Like, and they try to explain, yeah, because it's a weird thing to do. And they say, yeah, but what if do you have children? Yeah, I have 3 sons, and the other one had 2 girls. And like, what if they have cancer? Wouldn't you like to have that £1 million to be able to pay for things? Yeah, that comes into the equation. What does your wife thinks of it? They don't like it, and all these things. And it happened for real. This is not a internet hoax. They made 1.8 million. They paid 0.8 million in taxes, and they decided to really burn £1 million. And I just couldn't. I don't know if it's probably it's interesting, and it's stupid, and it's interesting again, and it's we are playing it. If you can play KLF, do you have YouTube? No, I don't have YouTube. Or do I have YouTube? Wait. Do I have YouTube? I don't think. What's your code?
And I'm the crab DJ here.
Yeah. No, I was just going to show. I'm going to see if I can. Oh wait, here's a dashing young man full of ambition. No, that was it.
Small interruption.
Yes.
Like on the BBC, on the radio, they just burned paper. They didn't burn any money.
No, that's not true.
That's what they said.
No, that's not true.
Like they wanted to give the money. Why didn't you give it to Africa?
Yeah,
like
but that's the first. But that's
It was a statement.
No, this is not true. This I know this because this has been so well researched, and that they really burned that 1 million. Yeah, that would be the easy way to get out, but they could not get in the Guardian, the BBC, the CNN without actually burning that. That would be too easy.
Do we have more
Yes.
comments or questions, actually?
More interruptions. Come on.
Yes, but I like the interruptions.
More music.
Yeah. Oh, more music.
Say,
No, it's okay.
Last train to Transcentral.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. You got it. Yeah. Yeah. He might have.
Okay, everybody, lie down on the floor and keep calm.
KLF in the house. And this is one of the 5 number ones they had available. Yeah. Thank you. I think some of you will remember that one, but it relates to a book that was written in the 30s by Marshall Mauss, The Gift, where he was one of the first anthropologists that realized, because before that we think everyone wants to get richer, families wants to get richer, societies wants to get richer, countries, North Holland, so. And then they realized that there was in North America, there was a culture that had a potlatch culture where it was manly to give. And the more you gave, the more manly and good looking you became. And if the other opposing tribe could give less, well, then you won. So this is something, this is part of this, like, okay, we're going to burn $1 million or pounds. If you can burn 2 million, you're going to look even better. If you can't, you're going to look less good. But this whole idea, yeah, this was forbidden in 1884 in Canada. This was a tradition. It was a battle between Indian tribes. But it became a war of gifts. Oh, you're going to give me a beer? Fuck you, I'm going to give you 200 beers. Like, oh, you're going to give me 200 beers? I'm going to give you 500 beers. Like, oh, fuck you, take my wife and my house, my car, and get out of here. No, you take my wife and my car and my 2 houses and get out of here. And this went on and on. So this was this, like, there was a macho, or, yeah, because it was a little, I'm afraid to say that it was much, but it was this thing of like to give until you bleed, and then if the other one could not give as much, you would win. And now we're always like, oh, I want to make money. I'm going to buy another car. But there was a history where there was people thinking differently about this. That's my point.
Connecting the idea of the gift exchange muscle man is a brilliant anthropology book.
Yeah.
And the idea of music as a perfect idea, just as expression for nothing else, just as pure expression. These come together in this beautiful work art form that I was talking about in the lecture. And on the Outer Hebridean Islands, just off Scotland, women would need to make the cloth they were making water resistant. So to do that, they would invite each other round. When one needed everybody's help, they'd all come round. When you needed my help, I'd come round. So this was a gift exchange of labour. And the way they made the cloth water resistant is they would pound it on the table. And as they pounded it on the table, they made this beautiful music. Now, is somebody on the point of commodifying that, do you think? Just round the corner, isn't it? It's that good.
It could be.
I just want to react back also on what you said earlier on about music, how it kind of painfully became part of a commercial, and it's also interesting that nowadays music it kind of also works the other way around. That through commercial music is also becoming really popular, and I think one of the good examples for this. That I can remember. I can't remember which song it was for which commercial, but a very good example is also it's Moby, for example, that really kind of lent the music a lot to commercials, and his album became really popular through adverts. So I think I have one of the songs here that.
Why does my heart so bad? Why does my soul
Thanks, Ola.
feel so bad?
Yeah.
Why does my heart feel so bad? Why does my soul feel so bad?
No, that's a great example. But I just remember when his first huge hit was a spin-off from Twin Peaks. He made a remix of the Twin Peaks theme. But you know Twin Peaks theme, yeah. Yes. Wait, I'm going to see. Oh, I have internet. I think maybe yes. Okay. Well, I'm going to play the.
Is there any questions?
Yes.
By anybody, maybe of what we're talking about, or reactions or comments on.
There's paper. Yes. There's paper.
You're talking about like music coming from the heart, like but people like artists making an album, and then like they gotta pick the single. I think that's like because that's sometimes like the money maker. Like, do you have any comments on that, or how do you pick it, or the single?
Yeah, it's a question of.
He's the only successful music maker here. So.
No, I'm not. I'm still, I'm a struggling producer. It's a question of making decisions in what you want to do with your music, because, like I said, you have this kind of purest form. What I call, what I relate with underground, is the form where music kind of really starts because you want to make music, and then you become part of a certain industry because you want to share your music with people. So it starts with a sharing with people that have this network all set. And it becomes bigger and bigger, and I think it has to do with decisions of keeping up with with your business. When you choose a single, it's really happening with what is going on at the moment that people are buying. So it's a product in that sense, and what single is kind of relating to that. Now nowadays, it's kind of also very interesting because of the internet. You can share your music that you're making at your house or anything, and a song can become really popular, and it hasn't been decided that it's really the single, And those songs are also marking, in that sense, a way that everybody wants to hear this artist because of this song. A good example for this, not an example of using the technology, but a good band to say, talking about this single, and I'm sure there's a lot of them, is like Radiohead when they came out with Creep, for example. I'm mentioning them because they were very specific about the concerts, that they say we're not going to play this song anymore because we can never make a second Creep. So, they decided that they're not going to limit themselves artistically to come up with a second Creep because, then they're going to basically, stop being creative in that sense. But it's a good question, and it has to do with the kind of people nowadays that you kind of organize around you, and the decisions and the visions that you have for yourself as a musician and what you want to do. And that is basically kind of deciding, what your next single is going to be, I hope I answer your question with that. Yeah.
Yes.
Jonas is putting his microphone to the computer.
The Twin Peaks. 1992, I saw him live in San Francisco. Silicon Valley was just a little baby wanting to help out with visuals, and they did.
So we've been telling stories about going from the underground, the pure idea, it's a lovely phrase, and then becoming more commercial. Here's a story of the opposite direction. Great story. Now, the Righteous Brothers, huh? Yeah? You've lost that love and feeling?
Yes.
Song, right. They needed a follow-up, right? So they sent to the same bunch of songwriters who were based in the Brill Building in New York, said, write us a follow-up. So the same songwriters, Mann and Weil, wrote this song and created this brilliant demo exactly like the Righteous Brothers would sing it. You won't know this version. This was their idea of a follow-up to You've Lost That Love and Feeling.
In this dirty part of the city where the sun forgets to shine, people say there just ain't no use in trying. There ain't no use in trying. Oh girl, now you oh so pretty, staying here would be a crime, 'cause you just grow old before your time. Yes it will, girl, I know that you will. Yeah, I know where to stay. Yeah, I know where to I say yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, I know, yeah, I know, yeah, I know. I can't take it no more. What are we waiting for? We gotta get out of this place. If it's the last thing that we do, we gotta get out of this place. 'Cause girl, there's a better life for me and you.
The Righteous Brothers never got to sing it because on the way there, the demo got taken over to an English record producer who gave it to this band called the Animals. They tore it apart, put it back together again, and made this song, We've Got to Get Out of This Place, by the Animals, which is probably how you know that song. So that's what, and they roughened it up and made it less commercial, considerably less commercial, though strangely they still had a huge hit with it. And the original songwriters hated the roughening up of it. And then there was a next level of deeper roughening up of this song, which really got to the pure idea. It became the anthem for US soldiers in Vietnam. This was their song, the song of their pure desperation. Every band that played on an army camp had to end with this song. And there's descriptions of how when the band would play this, everybody would be thumping and crashing their chairs and screaming the chorus, roughening it up to the purest idea of we've got to get out of this place. So it's an opposite story of commodification.
Okay.
Well, excuse me, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm going to backpedal a little bit. Creep, I think, was a bit of a piss take on the grunge commercial success, right? They were trying to like make fun of Nirvana, and it ended up on the album, and it became a huge hit. So it was supposed to be transgressive, but it became a big hit for Radiohead, and that's what made them a big act, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, I don't know exactly the reasons why they did it, but probably you're telling me something new here. But I mean, it's very interesting talking about the sense that you know what a question was about this single. That's also happening a lot where you have one song that becomes really big, and then you have to keep up the whole industry around you with this one single. And in that sense, they kind of chose not to do that kind of thing, because probably what you're saying is true.
It wasn't supposed to be on the album, apparently.
But we enjoyed it at that time. So, but coming back to this kind of music in a different way, I wanna just come back to to what you were just talking about, music being in the purest form, but also just lending itself to a different band in this sense, that making a different version of it. And this relates to what I want to also talk about, this kind of where the bubbling music comes from, this Jamaican style. And this actually one song that's called Dembow, from this artist, Jamaican artist called Shabarangs. He made a song that kind of became really, afterwards, it was lent to make different genres with it that became really popular. And it was also a popular song back in the days. I'll play a part of it for you. The rhythm.
I'm about to see me have with you. Ain't so the show man line about cat to do dirty. Hostility. Them bow. Man on the table, me say that him bow. Gyal a clean rifle, me say that she bow. I leave me out, and me know a gyal bow.
So this is Dembow from Shabarangs, and Dembow became a term that was used for reggaeton. And this rhythm, because of this one song, it became a rhythm that's called Dembow, which is that rhythm. And it became hugely popular through Panama, Puerto Rico, and United States as very, very big hit makers. And one of them also came back to Holland in the form of Gasolina.
Y el primer lugar de esta semana es para Daddy Yankee, quien permanece en el lugar número 1 por 10ª semana consecutiva con su tema La Gasolina. Súmale mambo pa' que mi gata prenda los motores. Súmale mambo pa' que mi gata prenda los motores. Súmale mambo pa' que mi gata prenda los motores. Que se preparen que lo que viene es pa' que le den duro. Mamita, yo sé que tú no te me vas a quitar duro. Lo que me gusta es que tú te dejas llevar duro. Todos los weekendes ella sale a vacilar.
So this is years later, after the first, the track as Dembow came out, you got the Gasolina. And one of the interesting things, coming back to the whole bubbling thing, is the speed of this kind of, Dembow music, which was the bubbling track. It was being played by this one DJ that decided that the music was too slow for him. So he was going to speed it up. And which became, of course, the bubbling. Now, I'm doing this for really quick because I want to show you, when he speeded up this music, you got that, what we call the Mickey Mouse sound of the voices, and which became really interesting nowadays for the Dutch product of exporting the Dutch sound to the States and actually the world. It's the one thing, the economy is not going so good, but the one thing that is growing is the Dutch DJs and producers, because actually also of this sound. And one good example is, I'll play a track that's from Afrojack and Steve Aoki, and you'll hear back this influence. I'm going really quickly through it, of the voice being pitched, but with a twist, and also the rhythm again. So talking about how music travels, it's a nice example of, in a way, a guy that decides that, he's going to play the music faster because he likes it with the background coming from the Jamaican, Caribbean background. This guy living in Den Haag or Rotterdam and speeding this up and developing into this kind of influence where the DJ started playing this bubbling thing that was getting everybody onto the dance floor, and it becoming a really huge part of the music industry again, which we call nowadays the Dutch sound.
I mean, and this is the beauty of this whole thing, because I remember the globalization of music now it's unbelievable. And this is, I remember when I would save money for 6 months to go to New York to buy 5 records or go to London. And now there's I'm going to play a baile funk hookup to this, what you played, because that's the same thing. And so then it used to be like this. All the great music was made in America or England, and then you realized, oh, maybe there's something cool in Germany, Kraftwerk, and maybe there's something okay in Belgium, like Telex or Neon Judgment, but it was very Eurocentric, and unless you lived in London, New York, you would have no chance of keeping up with all the trends. Now it doesn't matter anymore. You can live on Greenland or wherever. And I went to Brazil. I spent a lot of time in Brazil, and what they are doing now with baile funk, and it's eating up all the music that comes from wherever. It doesn't matter. It's not the West or the East or the South. But this is a song that could not have been made in Europe because it's a sample of Dire Straits. And there's no DJ in Berlin, London that would dare to touch a saxophone sample of Dire Straits. That's just like, not at first I thought it was Kenny G. So I called this song Kenny G, and then I realized, no, it's Dire Straits. But what they do in Brazil now is they just listen to music. They don't have wow, this sounds good, that sounds good. And of course, it's a lot of people in the favelas with Fruit Loops, which is a very simple loop program. They're not versed in if it's Dire Straits hip or not. They listen to it and say yes or they say no. So now what we get in baile funk is the whole history of music thrown back at us from the favelas, from really poor people that just listen to it and they say, this is good, this is not good. This is Dire Straits.
Hey, that is Kenny G. I always knew he had a really gangster side of him, you know, Kenny G. It's only when he went to Brazil that it came out.
Yeah, but I mean, the point was that I went there and I was blown away. There was enthusiasm, there was a joy for music that I hadn't seen since like hip hop in the 80s, or like I just came there and it's so sexy and it's so funky. And if we're talking about capitalism and music, they have found a way to. They have Rio de Janeiro. This is Rio de Janeiro music. It's not Sao Paulo music or any other Curitiba Brazilian city. It's Rio de Janeiro music. And they have 15 million people living there, 2 million people live in the favelas, and they go out every Saturday. So they don't care if we like it in Berlin, or if we think it's cool in Groningen, or if we think it's interesting in New York or in London. They don't give a shit. They have their own parties. They go there to party, and they have the critical mass, 2 million people partying and then that influences us. Then we start to look at like, oh, this is quite interesting. Yes, that's a nice sample. Oh. That's a weird way of using recycling Dire Straits. So of course this comes back to us in like a vomit from Brazil, but a funky vomit.
It's basically just Kenny G on drugs in Brazil.
Okay, I want to rescue this saxophonist. I'm presuming it's not Kenny G. So it's a great story. It makes me think, who is this saxophonist? What were the social relations of his production within the music industry? I don't think we can talk about music and capitalism without thinking about the social relations of the people who are making the music and what layers of hierarchy or lack of hierarchy they're under. And one great exploration of that is a documentary about the backing band to the great Motown era of like 62 to 72. These cats, there were about 10 of them, played all the music behind all the great Diana Ross and the Supremes, Marvin Gaye, the Four Tops, the Temptations, and they were there laying down those grooves. Fantastic. And there's a beautiful documentary. Nobody knew, had a clue who they were. They were never, ever credited on any of the records. You go and look, never credited. So this is a really beautiful documentary that gives them voice, that gives them a name, and shows their musicianship. 1972, Berry Gordy, the head of Motown, decided to relocate to California. They they turned up for another session in Motown. Notice on the door, we've relocated to California. End of contract with Motown. So here's a song of they call themselves the Funk Brothers, just the Funk Brothers playing without the vocals, Standing in the Shadows of Love. And the documentary is called Standing in the Shadows of Motown. Let's hear it for those Funk Brothers.
Yeah.
We're also in the shadow of sampling, by the way.
Yes.
Because everybody sampled them, you know, that these records also built up the kind of the hip hop vibe, you know, in that sense. A nice example.
Example.
Of sampling music.
Yeah, X-sample.
X-sample. Pre-sample.
Pre-sample.
Yeah, I just have a point about the whole commercialisation of music. I used to be very much into a band, English band, very much into protest songs, very anti-government, Chumbawamba. Never refused to sign a record contract.
Yeah.
John Peel hassled them for years to try and get a John Peel session. They finally did one. They did Viva España, the Birdie song. They did complete crap, basically, you know. John Peel was like, okay, I play this once and that's it. I'm never playing it again, you know. Finally, they signed a record contract, which broke my heart in some ways, you know. Then they produced one crap song and broke up. Took the money and ran. I mean, what is your opinion on that? Is this good? I mean, did they do it good in the end or bad? Or, you know, I feel slightly betrayed still, but I don't know, you know.
No, but
I mean, you might see them online, like hanging out, drinking some cocktails, and you feel good.
No, but I remember the band because I was involved in the all the indie and all the things, and they were outspokenly communist. They were really hardcore left anarchist even. So they were so left wing, and it was so. Yeah, I mean, Crass released records. There are hardcore anarchists. I mean, there are great bands that are anarchists that managed to. I have to tell you though, like the reason why I came to Amsterdam was because of Staalplaat, which was a record label that was based on Jodenbreestraat. There's now an anarchist bookstore there, but they had this beautiful idea that we don't sell anything that you can't make at home, and that means CDs and albums. So they only sold cassettes. So we would bring like, okay, let's make a lot of cassettes and go to Amsterdam, and then we come to Amsterdam. This is like 88, 89, and then they came in. Oh, you got cassettes? Yes. Okay, come in. And then we would change like, okay, you get 5 of ours, and then we could take 5 other cassettes. Later they became less Puritan. I miss those days when they would only deal with cassettes, because cassettes you can make at home. Now you can make CDs at home also, but in those days that was a novelty.
Guys, you get less than 10 minutes. Stop talking.
Yes.
Play more music.
Well, there's going to be a lot more music very soon, so it's going to be all music after this. But okay, let's play each one more song and then we can...
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, I start.
Yeah.
Oh, I start again.
You again.
I'll play
But
like
you're from Aruba. Boss you around.
a kind of bubbling inspired track, the latest kind of thing. I will play back around 1 o'clock tonight, so you should come and party with me.
Yeah, it's going to be a rave
and
tonight.
It's going to be my birthday.
And this is a fantastic DJ. It's my hero. Don't miss this shit tonight. Okay, I'm going to play this and then I'll leave you to it. I partly play this because the story is so appealing. But so I spent a lot of time in Brazil, baile funk, everyone knows. But no one knows, or very few people knows, some people in Berlin, because there was a festival for brega music. Brega is techno brega. Is apparently
play this song.
Yeah, yes, it's apparently shit techno, but this is music from Manaus, which is.
Super Gêmeos no Mix.
I'm gonna end it with another Funk Brothers number.
Do it.
Yeah. From Marvin Gaye's amazing 1970 record, What's Going On? Hear the Funk Brothers on Mercy, Mercy Me.
slowly but gradually end the DJ battle. You can give a modest round of applause for Michael Lampe, Marek Korczynski, the singing professor, and Jonas Olsson, who will join us for another round of music until Laser Poodle starts at 11:30. Laser Poodle, Belgium, Netherlands. They will play, after which DJ Fellow will be back on his birthday at the Impakt Festival 2013.
Yes!
Don't forget the new Tropics bar. DJ Lonely and Blodfet will take over after this beautiful soulful song with another 40 minutes of more danceable music. The DJs will be and the tables will be taken away. Your seats will be taken in a few minutes. So prepare to dance a bit when DJ Lonely will start his music. Enjoy.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you all. Thank you.